Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Taking a peek back at the precipitation just yesterday, as we did see some record-breaking rain here for Charleston, just over 3 inches of rain. Impressive. Now we are going to be watching for some additional rainfall as we head into the coming days, meaning this rain is falling on clearly saturated ground. So we are going to be watching for some flooding concern. Quick peek at what we can expect. And now today we're under this general to marginal risk of severe weather. We're seeing those showers and rumbles of thunder move in right away this morning for some, and then continuing to watch for some additional activity as we head into the afternoon, evening, bringing some additional rainfall. Keeping a close eye on flooding concerns. Always remember, as you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. Now, we're not the only ones that are dealing with some unsettled weather. As we take a look at that Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. We are going to be watching for some unsettled weather. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, over to Orlando, going to be seeing that as we head through the next several days. So keep that in mind. Now for your the Panhandle forecast, watching for those showers and storms as we head into the day today. We're looking at Pine Grove hitting 80 degrees today. Otherwise, Davis at 74 degrees. Charlestown 86 degrees. Parkersburg 83 degrees as we head into the day today. Just continuing to keep an eye on those unsettled conditions, those flooding concerns out there. Lewisburg 79 degrees for this Wednesday. And then as we head into the extended outlook, we'll continue to watch for these showers and thunderstorms today, tomorrow, and again Friday. It does look like conditions are going to be slightly more settled though as we head into the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
The DOHS on the hot seat. Is West Virginia actually short on attorneys? And the country roads lead to Richmond. It's MetroNews Talkline, and we are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Say good morning to our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. And if you're watching in on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, we appreciate that as well. Don't forget, download the app to your mobile device or smart TV. Get access to this program and all of the MetroNews TV programming available on the app. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Text line is 304-TALK-304. Going to have some open line opportunities for you to weigh in this morning. DOHS on the hot seat yesterday. Secretary Carl Ayers in front of the interim committee. We'll talk to State Senator Amy Grady. She is a member of that committee, was in the room yesterday. We'll talk to her about the school clothing voucher program, the start, the stop, the complaints. We'll get into all of that. She'll join us second hour. Also, coming up later this morning, the Valley Link. We haven't talked much about that proposed transmission line. It run from Putnam County to Frederick County, Maryland, cut across 20 West Virginia counties. We'll get into that coming up in the second hour as well. And we'll explain All country roads lead to Richmond this week. NASCAR Craftsman truck driver Grant Enfinger is going to join us. He's going to have the WVU colors on his truck in Richmond on Friday night. He'll join us bottom of the hour. Say good morning to TJ Meadows. And TJ, if there's one guy I'm glad I'm not this morning, and that would be the Secretary of Human Services, Carl Ayers. He got up there and took it yesterday. That was a grilling by the committee yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, look, kudos to him. He's been here, what, 2, maybe 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks, okay. He said he was drinking not from a fire hose, from a fire hydrant. I would believe it. And look, he got up, answered the questions, took some heat. Frankly, if I'm him, I'm wondering if my old job is still available and maybe I call my former employer. It was a lot. We'll get into it, but kudos for showing up. Not sure I agree with everything he said. Not sure I agree with all the logic. Matter of fact, I don't, but kudos for showing up and facing the heat yesterday.
And I don't think a lot of lawmakers, they would agree with you. I don't think they would agree with the logic and some of the explanations they received yesterday. We'll get into that again. Amy Grady's going to join us. We'll talk more about it next segment. Got some sound from yesterday's meeting to get into as well. But first, believe it or not, West Virginia needs lawyers. Never thought I'd say that. But a new report finds that the demand for court-appointed legal work is rising sharply, but most counties lack an adequate number of lawyers available for appointment. State Supreme Court of Appeals for West Virginia released that report earlier this week, detailing the findings and recommendations of its Commission on the Future of the Practice of Law, a court-appointed group back in April 2025. Joining us to explain further is the Chief Justice for the State Supreme Court, Haley Bunn. Justice Bunn, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, TJ. Thanks for having me.
I never thought I would say that West Virginia needs more attorneys, but that's the, bottom line of this report. We're short on attorneys.
I know. I hear that a lot, especially here in Charleston. It seems like you can't throw a rock without hitting a law office and 3 or 4 lawyers on the way. And in Morgantown as well. But, we've been seeing this problem brewing for several years. Kind of anecdotally, judges are saying, I can't get hearings scheduled because I can't get enough lawyers to represent everyone in the room that needs representation. And so we knew this was an issue, and the data that we studied with this commission really bore that out. We are in a legal desert everywhere except a handful of counties. Here in Kanawha County, we have a pretty high concentration of lawyers. But I do like to note that a lot of those lawyers aren't able to take appointed cases. They're lawyers who work under the dome, for the government.
So they're disqualified.
Yeah. They're not taking any private practice cases. So, or for other reasons, they're not taking those cases. So we really need lawyers. It's true.
Is this a microcosm of what we're facing throughout the state? I think about, you grew up in Wyoming County.
Yeah.
So the county seat is Pineville, and you'd have lawyers that would hang a shingle near the courthouse. I grew up in Boone County. It happened the same way in Madison. They're not hanging those shingles because the volume isn't there, and they can come to Charleston or they can go to Morgantown if they want to stay here. And let's face it, make better money, have a better practice. So how do we incentivize people to want to go to the small communities?
That is one thing that the commission addressed. We do need to show folks that you can make a good living hanging out a shingle and having that varied, rewarding, personally and financially rewarding practice in these rural areas, because the demand is absolutely there. But I think maybe we haven't done a good job of showing that need is there. That's one of the things that this report is supposed to do. We're working with the law school to incentivize and facilitate that. I get that it's very hard to move back to a hometown. And it's hard to learn how to do these things. But the law school is doing some things to partner with small and solo practitioners who are ready to retire and let me hand this practice off to you over the next 5 years.
So some brokering, some matching.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that and some other solutions. Maybe the report also suggests having folks come in as a law clerk for the local circuit judge for a term, and then with the thought that they're going to transition out. This is a problem that the medical community has had and struggled with for a long time, getting folks to serve the needs in rural areas. And so that's one of the major things we're trying to look at doing.
Is this a situation where we have crime increasing and the lawyers can't keep up with the number of cases, or is it the number of lawyers decreasing, or all the above?
All of the above, Dave. And it's not just criminal cases. So we've all talked about, I know you've talked about here a lot, and we talk about at the court, the rising number of abuse and neglect cases. That is where a huge need is, because if you think about it, in an abuse and neglect case, you don't just need one appointed lawyer like you do in a criminal case who, to represent the defendant accused of the crime. In a case like that, you often have more than one respondent parent. Each one of those folks has to have an appointed counsel, and you need a guardian ad litem to represent the interests of the kids. Sometimes there are multiple sets of kids with different interests, and you might need multiple guardians. So those cases really, as we know, have risen in recent years. We have more of those cases. And at the same time, we have more lawyers leaving the practice than we have joining the practice. And the rate at which the lawyers are leaving is higher than, almost double what our population decline is as well. So it's just not, the numbers aren't matching up, and so we're trying to do what we can to figure out how to help that.
You talked about the financial side of the equation. The rate that we pay for these attorneys, is that on par? Do we need to look at that?
So, as a court, that's not our purview. It's up to the legislature to do. And in fact, I think there's a misunderstanding. The court doesn't pay, for the most part, court-appointed lawyers. Certain types it does in family court and that sort of thing, and mental hygiene. But for the most part, it's paid through Public Defender Services Corporation, which has its own appropriation, and there's a statutory rate that is set by the legislature for those cases. I think currently it's $60 out of court work and $80 in court work. Yeah, absolutely. That's something that the commission looked at as a potential solution to incentivize court-appointed work. Let's just pay the folks more. But that's not something that, that is in the court's purview, but we do look forward to working with the other branches of government to maybe make that happen.
State Supreme Court Chief Justice Haley Bunn is joining us. We border a lot of states. Is it too cumbersome, or how cumbersome is it for somebody from Kentucky to represent someone in Huntington or someone from Pennsylvania and Morgantown?
Yeah, so that is something that the commission also recommended, was essentially lowering the barriers to practicing law here in West Virginia. Maybe special allowances for folks who want to do only this court-represented work here in West Virginia. Another recommendation is to take a look at our bar passage rate. So we are currently pretty high on what we require for a cut score. We're in the top third, I think it is. And so that's something that the commission recommended that the court to consider. We're also getting a new bar exam as an aside.
Is that good or bad, depending on if you have to take it, I guess?
Yeah. No, we're working with the National Bar Examiners, and they have developed the test. The first one rolled out, but we're not on deck until next year for the new bar exam.
Well, let me ask you something about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was a time, if you graduated from the WVU College of Law, you need not take the bar exam and you could be admitted. I don't know if that's accurate. I think I may be accurate.
I think you may be accurate, and a majority of my colleagues on the bench got that benefit of not having to
Should
pass
we look
the
at
bar.
that again?
Well, of course, that is a barrier, but there are other things to consider in making sure that these folks are ready to practice, for sure. But the commission recommended looking at the passage cut score, and also recommended on additional opportunities for getting sworn into the West Virginia bar, fees to get sworn into the bar, and the character and fitness process. You have to have an in-person, I think, interview with a lawyer, an active lawyer. Sometimes that can take some time, but just really streamlining the process to allow folks to practice in West Virginia is something that the commission recommended and that the court's going to consider.
This may not be an apt comparison, but I'm going to go here anyway. In our business, we don't have a lot of people knocking down the doors to want to come in to work in news, to want to come in and do the things that we do. We got to go out and actively and recruit very hard to get people to come into this business.
Absolutely.
Does that apply to your business in the law world?
For sure. And I think step one is kind of the barrier we started with. People assume there's too many lawyers. And I also think that people assume, well, AI is going to be my lawyer in 5 years. Neither one of those things is true. An AI bot can't go into a courtroom and represent you when you're accused of a crime or your constitutional rights are otherwise at play. We got to have a person to do that. And anytime I have a group of students in front of me, I love to do outreach. I love to go to schools. I love to have them into the courtroom. And I am always trying to encourage folks to get into the legal field. I'm going on Friday to speak to the law school orientation. And number one on my agenda is to talk to these brand new law students and tell them that it's rewarding and wonderful to practice in West Virginia. So think about staying here. Think about what your career and your life can be like here. And I happen to think it's a pretty great place to practice.
Would it ever be palatable to judges? I mean, I don't want to disrupt the process, but I think about high school students. You go out and some students, you just see it, right? They've got something. And you want to bring them in and maybe not an apprenticeship, but a mentorship that allows them to spend, 5 hours a week or something, whatever it is, with an attorney, go into court with an attorney, sit there to watch and see what is happening. I mean, it seems to me something like that would be a way to get people excited about something and set them up on a path. Then when they're in undergrad or they're in law school and they hit a brick wall and they need a little encouragement, they've got somebody that they can go to help get them over it.
I think that's wonderful, and that's something that a lot of our circuit judges are already doing.
Oh, good.
Our Wayne County circuit judges had a special program with their school superintendent down there, and they picked some special students. I think it was 6 or 7 special students who went through an intensive program to learn about the legal system, to have a mock trial on the circuit level, and then they brought them personally up to watch some arguments in my courtroom. And I loved that. I thought that was wonderful. And I'm just waiting until those kids come back to get sworn in to be lawyers. It was wonderful. I know several of our Kanawha County judges and judges throughout the state will have high school mock trials and that sort of thing. Of course, our Supreme Court does our laws program. Every term of court, we go out to a high school and we hear real arguments with real lawyers and answer questions from students. And you can almost look out at the crowd of students and see 2 or 3 light bulbs go on. Like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I'm excited. Just breaking news. We're going to my home county of Wyoming in October to hear arguments at Westside High School. So I'm excited about that. But we try all we can to inspire folks to get into the law and to get into public service, whether it, however that may be. So.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Justice Bunn. Encouraging for you, discouraging for us. My last 2 interns / part-timers, talented, great on the air. We were ready to hire them. You know where they are right now?
Where?
Law school.
Yes.
Had to write recommendation letters for law school.
Awesome. I love it.
Chief Justice Haley Bunn, you can read the report. It's on the State Supreme Court's website. Justice, thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
We'll recap yesterday's conversation or grilling of the State Department of Health, or State Department of Human Resources Secretary. That's coming up next.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZLM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZLM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Talking racing coming up bottom of the hour. Yesterday, lawmakers grilled West Virginia's new Secretary for Human Services, Carl Ayers, for more than an hour over disruptions in the state's clothing voucher program for needy families. Carl Ayers, who was named to the job on July 20th, testified for short of an hour and a half before the Legislative Oversight Commission on Health and Human Resources Accountability, that part of the interim meetings yesterday or over the last several days. Now, Ayers tried to explain to lawmakers the start and stop application period for the clothing voucher program this year.
Whenever the program was opened up, it was opened up for a period roughly of 30 days or until the funding was exhausted. And so due to the overwhelming response from the community, it was projected that funding would be exhausted after the 7 days. So that's why the program was closed down after the 7 days.
That was just one part of the questioning the actual funding, whether or not there's a structural deficit. There was also the governor's comments from last week about beer and cigarettes and those cards being cashed out. Governor Morrissey tweeting out a graphic last week that roughly 50% of the clothing vouchers are being cashed out. We don't know where that money is being used. Ayers listed some of the places where EBT cards have been cashed out.
Venus Lounge, Turf Motel Lounge, Tobacco A&N and Tobacco BA, Stogie's Smoke Shops, Rock's Beer, CJ's Tobacco, Cannabis, Daddy Lou's Pub and Pantry, Smoker Friendly, True Leave, which is a cannabis dispensary.
Now, State Senator Eric Tarr took exception to some of the comments and the insinuations.
I had friends that live over bars. I've had friends that have lived over strip clubs for the apartment being there. I have walked myself down the street when I was probably 8 years old to the bar to ask for bread. To say because they're spent here, for these families, that where it's spent is so short-sighted and is so elitist.
And Ayers admitted the state doesn't really know where that cash is being spent.
Once they are pulled into cash, I have no way to account for how the benefit was spent. I can't tell you, was it spent on this? Was it spent on anything else?
Delegate Evan Worrell asked why they chose to investigate the spending and the waste, fraud, and abuse now.
So that's why I'm trying to understand if the governor just became aware of this last week when it's been a program for 4 years, or if they knew about it.
And Senator Vince Deeds also wondered why the problem surfaced now.
What I'm not hearing today is really why was this complaint filed right at the beginning of July, and why was it delayed so long, and where did this complaint come from?
And Deeds continued and said, with all the posturing, the real harm is now on the families.
This is one of those issues that we will not back off on, and we will not, I mean, the legislature does not carry the weight on this. It's the governor's office that carries the weight on this, 100%. It came from his decision, his office, and now we have to live with it. Our citizens have to live with it.
And TJ, I think that was the message from lawmakers yesterday. This is 100% on the executive branch at this point.
And I think people agree with them. Not only do lawmakers have that opinion, I think the citizens of West Virginia have that opinion. And it was a great soundbite to cap it on, Dave, because Vince Deeds hit the nail on the head. This is back on the governor, and people are not happy with what has transpired over the last 2 weeks.
Senator Amy Grady sits on that committee. She'll join us coming up top of the 11 o'clock hour. 800-765-TALK, the phone number, 304-TALK-304 is the text line. More coming up in just a bit. We'll talk racing in a moment. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30 and time for a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Taking a peek back at the precipitation just yesterday, as we did see some record-breaking rain here for Charleston, just over 3 inches of rain. Impressive. Now we are going to be watching for some additional rainfall as we head into the coming days, meaning this rain is falling on clearly saturated ground. So we are going to be watching for some flooding concern. Quick peek at what we can expect. And now today we're under this general to marginal risk of severe weather. We're seeing those showers and rumbles of thunder move in right away this morning for some, and then continuing to watch for some additional activity as we head into the afternoon, evening, bringing some additional rainfall. Keeping a close eye on flooding concerns. Always remember, as you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. Now, we're not the only ones that are dealing with some unsettled weather. As we take a look at that Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. We are going to be watching for some unsettled weather. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, over to Orlando, going to be seeing that as we head through the next several days. So keep that in mind. Now for your the Panhandle forecast, watching for those showers and storms as we head into the day today. We're looking at Pine Grove hitting 80 degrees today. Otherwise, Davis at 74 degrees. Charlestown 86 degrees. Parkersburg 83 degrees as we head into the day today. Just continuing to keep an eye on those unsettled conditions, those flooding concerns out there. Lewisburg 79 degrees for this Wednesday. And then as we head into the extended outlook, we'll continue to watch for these showers and thunderstorms today, tomorrow, and again Friday. It does look like conditions are going to be slightly more settled though as we head into the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody. Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Your comments coming up, 304 Talk 304. Our thoughts as well. Senator Amy Grady, top of the hour. Friday nights, when the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series hits the pavement in Richmond, look for the number 9 Silverado driven by Grant Enfinger. It'll have a very familiar look. It'll be bearing the old gold and blue Grant County mulch, the official mulch of WVU Athletics, and WVU Athletics partnering with CR7 Motorsports, and Grant's number 9 is going to be decked out in gold and blue and WVU country roads, even some mountain scenescapes on that truck as well. Looking forward to seeing it on the track Friday night in Richmond. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is the driver of the number 9 Silverado, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Grant Enfinger. Grant, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you coming on. How did this partnership all come about to have the WVU, the Flying WV on the truck this week?
Man, anybody that knows really anybody of the Grant County Mulch family, Cody Roball, Stacy Berg, all those guys, it's not a surprise to them. They've been ate up with WVU athletics for their whole lives. Obviously, they've got a big partnership going on with Grant County Mulch and WVU for the last couple of years, and it's been a really fun partnership. We were able to have them on board last year, this race at Richmond, able to do some cool things at the stadium. We're going to bring a show truck back there September 12th, I believe, for I think it's the second game of the season. So yeah, just an awesome deal. But it boils down to Grant County Mulch and their family being ate up with WVU athletics, and just a partnership that works well both ways.
So, Grant, you probably realize this. We're a small state, but we're mighty. We have a lot of pride. I think that was best illustrated recently by WVU baseball and the run they had in the College World Series. Talk about driving your car and knowing that you've got the pride of a state behind you.
Man, it's I've enjoyed all my time in West Virginia. The couple of trips I've made to Morgantown has been super fun, and I think pride spells it out perfectly. I tell you, when the baseball games were going on, our fuel man Tyler Rader, who actually played football for WVU, and Cody Roball, our owner, I don't even think they were worried about the races. They were just worried about baseball that time, and so no, it's cool. It's a small town atmosphere, but man, I feel like the whole state where's that pride and where's that badge of honor. So it's very cool to be involved with it.
Now, we're talking to Grant Enfinger. He's driver of the number 9 Craftsman Truck Series truck, and they'll have the Flying WV on the truck this week in a partnership with Grant County Mulch at the race in Richmond. You got to do donuts in the parking lot up at the Coliseum. Not many people are afforded that opportunity, Grant.
I tell you what, that was fun, and it's one of those things as a race car driver. You want to do those after victory lane, and it happened a couple of days after we were able to get a big win in Lime Rock earlier this year. So yeah, appreciate. We had a little bit of help from the state troopers around there as well. So and let us drive the truck downtown through there. So just pretty cool experience. Not everybody gets to do. So yeah, it's really special to be part of that, and yeah, man, I feel like just the sense of pride from everybody involved has been pretty cool, and there's a lot of loyal WVU followers out there, just like there are a lot of loyal NASCAR followers. So it's been a great partnership.
Let's talk about this Richmond race, specifically the track. When you're out there, tricks and tips, things you keep on your mind when you're racing at this track that you need to do to be successful on that course.
Man, Richmond is one of those places. It is on our NASCAR circuit. It is a true short track, super worn out asphalt. So tires are a premium. I would say tires are more important than this race than really any other race on our schedule. So we're limited to our tires throughout the weekend. We basically have 5 sets to race on. So there's strategy involved in this race, and a lot of times our truck races. For 250 laps this Friday night. A lot of times our truck races aren't long enough to have a lot of mixed up strategy, but this is one that is, and the tires are so important. If you put on tires and you don't have any left, and a caution comes out 10 or 15 laps later, you're kind of a sitting duck. So I think it's one of those places that it's a true short track. It's a really fun place to go to. I feel like the camping and the atmosphere is fun at Richmond, but man, the on-track product I feel like is one of the best that we can offer, and I feel like a lot of that comes down to there's so much mechanical grip involved in Richmond, and I feel like we're in an era of aero racing. But man, if you got some aero or you got some mechanical grip and you got some fresh tires, you can make magic happen.
Well, you won in Richmond, what, 2021? You won the race there?
Yep, I think it was 2020, but yeah, it's
2020.
been a few years, and it's always been one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully we can have a good run this weekend. Hopefully we can get a lot of WVU followers to come out to the race or at least tune in on FS1 on Friday night.
Hey, not only the truck, you got some new duds to go along with it. Where did you get the helmet? That is sick looking.
So we have an awesome person in Wendy Huffman that takes care of all of our graphics at the team. So she's done an incredible job on all things WVU and all things for CR7 Motorsports in general. So yeah, she does a great job for us, and yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty special colors, and just like I said, all in all, just an awesome partnership, and very cool to be part of it. And man, we've gotten so much support from this, and like I said, it means so much to so many people, and none more important than our ownership. Like I said, everybody at Grant County Mulch, they are huge WVU fans through all versions of sports. But yeah, it's just pretty cool partnership.
Tell us about yourself a little bit. You talked about your guys being ate up with WVU. How'd you get ate up with racing? How'd you get into it?
Man, that was something, that fire started burning really early. My dad, who was not into racing, but he was a race fan. So we would go to Talladega every year, and that was kind of what got the fire burning. And when I was 7, 8 years old, I was wearing them out for a go-kart, and in 3, 4, 5 years of wearing them out, he finally broke down, and took it as a hobby for a while. And then when I got to be in my teens, I decided, hey, this is what I want to do for a living, and been full bore ever since, and had a lot of people who support me. But man, I'm one of those guys that God has blessed me to be able to live my dreams. So I'm one of those guys that loves what I do, love getting up every day and working hard to win races, and I've been fortunate to be able to live my life and live my dream and make a good living doing it, and to have awesome experiences like we have this weekend with the partnership with WVU, and to go out there and try to win races and be around good people doing it.
Grant Enfinger is joining us, driver of the number 9 truck NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They'll have WVU and Grant County Mulch on the truck for the Black's Tire 250 presented by BTS Rewards. You can watch it on FS1. We got several texts into the show, Grant. I don't know if you got the answer, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Merch. Folks are wanting the merch with this truck.
I think I was told there's going to be some shirts. Maybe there's going to be some die-cast available when we bring the truck up to the September 12th game. But yeah, I've already been hit up on some merch. I've been told it's happening. I haven't seen any proof of that yet, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Grant Enfinger, driver of the number 9 Craftsman Truck Series truck. How fitting. It would be so fitting, Grant, if you can take a West Virginia truck to Victory Lane in Richmond, Virginia. The irony there would not be lost on anybody here in this state, Grant. So get her done, buddy.
We're going to get her done, and we appreciate all the support. And like I said, hope to see a lot of y'all out on Friday night. And if not, I hope y'all tune in on FS1 to watch us. And yeah, I feel good about our truck that we're bringing there, and I feel really good about the colors on it.
Can't miss it when you watch. Again, it'll be televised on FS1. It's the Black's Tire 250 presented by BTS Awards at Richmond Raceway. Grant Enfinger, driver of the number 9 truck in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Already has a win this year. He's looking for another one. Grant, we appreciate it. Best of luck. We'll be looking for you Friday night.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely. Grant Enfinger, driver of the number 9 in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, driving the number 9 Chevrolet. I should have pointed that out. I should know better. I've watched NASCAR long enough. You got to get all that in.
That's great. What a great guy.
It'll be fun. It's fun to see that kind of thing out on the track.
Yeah, it will. I have to tune in, make sure I tune in and see it going around. Can you imagine when he wins this thing? I'll be optimistic. When he wins this thing, going to the winner's circle and belting the little country roads right there on television.
I think that would be fitting.
That would be fitting.
For as
How's your
often,
singing voice, Grant?
For as often as West Virginians are asked, so is that near Richmond? Perfect irony if he could take that truck to Victory Lane Friday night.
I cannot stand that question. And it comes up and comes up. And part of me, I give him, you know this, being a Southern guy, Dave. Oh, bless your heart. You know what I'm saying when oh, bless your heart, honey. Didn't you know it's 2 states? I mean, did you go to 3rd grade? You know.
All right, 304 Talk 304. We'll get to your text coming up. Amy Grady joins us at the top of next hour. Also, we haven't talked much. I don't know if we've brought this up on the show yet or not, but there's another transmission line project that has come under public scrutiny. That would run from Putnam County to Frederick County, Maryland. We'll talk about the Valley Link in the second hour of the show as well. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text the show, 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Senator Amy Grady, top of the hour. Texter says, Dave and TJ thought you might get a kick out of this, tied into flock cameras. It is a cartoon. I'll do my best to describe this. 2 trophy bucks standing in front of a trail cam, one buck saying to the other one, if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about. You know, Flock is missing out on a huge segment of potential customers, TJ. Deer hunters. I'm just saying,
people.
If there was some type of AI camera technology and I knew where to be, when to be there to get that trophy buck, I might be in. I think you could sell me on that. Can we track bucks through the woods and know exactly where they are at any given time? Flock, you're missing out. You're missing out on a whole segment there.
My cousin, he's got about 400 acres in an undisclosed location here in West Virginia, big hunter. He's got that place wired up like Fort Knox. I mean,
I believe it.
A turtle moves on that land, he's going to see it.
There is nothing more frustrating as a hunter. I think there's nothing more frustrating than to see, deer you're after, big deer that you're after, that you want, that you're trying to hunt. They come by at night. Or even worse, they come by, you decide, I'm going to go get a sandwich. I'm going to leave the stand for a little bit. I haven't seen anything all morning. And then later you've got a picture of them there 45 minutes after you decided it was time for a bologna sandwich back at the truck. And I've been there and done that on more than one occasion. But I'm telling you, Flock, you're missing out. Missing out on a whole segment.
Can we get some AI going on something like that, a video like that, and then the camera shoots or turns, I guess I should say, to a photo of the deer, and he's just like that after you walk away?
I think they actually do that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Dave, TJ, you guys missed on your interview there after the Richmond comment. You should have played Liam, dominate. Poor Liam. 8 up. Yeah, love it.
I love it.
Are you selling any merch? Yeah, Grant says there's going to be some merch. Truck's apparently going to be up here for the second football game of the year, September 12th. That'll be cool. 304 Talk 304. Regarding court-appointed attorneys, one of the biggest issues as somebody who works in that field but not as a lawyer is that the non-public defender corporation attorneys are only paid $60 for out-of-court work or $80 an hour for in-court work. When they are billing $300 or $350 an hour for private retained work, they don't want to or can't afford to take that big of a pay cut. The legislature passed a bill giving a raise a couple of years ago, but Governor Morrissey vetoed it, says the texter. What would you say? The market dictates?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, capital flows where it's most efficient, and people go to work where they can be paid the most, especially if one client pays more than another. I mean, it's just common sense. It's why I asked Justice Bunn about that. And she very tactfully, very correctly pointed back to the legislature. And, good luck getting that passed, I would say. Can you imagine the political popularity of that? We're going to pay lawyers more. I mean, folks would not. And look, I think they probably deserve more, frankly, but that's a tough political pitch to make.
I don't have the answer to this question. I don't expect you to either. But it's all about incentive structures. So is there some type of other incentive structure you could establish? Not necessarily $350 an hour or $400 an hour, TJ, but to encourage attorneys to take on more of these cases. I don't know what that would be, but could there be something? I mean, that would be a question for a bunch of attorneys, what they want or what they would need. But
I've got a thought.
Go on.
It's not going to be popular.
Well, I mean, wouldn't be the first one.
A lot of attorneys are self-employed. And when you are self-employed, you pay higher Social Security taxes because you're paying both sides. It costs more to be self-employed, including buying benefits. If PEIA is doing better, you want to get some lawyers involved, offer them some insurance benefits.
That is not the craziest thing I've heard today, believe it or not. Not the craziest thing that I have heard. Chew on that. And what you pay in is based on what your salary is. Spitball on that. That's not the craziest thing I've heard today.
Well, if it turns out to be a winner, I'm glad I could bring this to the state of West Virginia to try to solve a problem. If it turns out to be a complete loser and a horrible idea, I never said it. So there you go.
800-765-TALKS. The phone number 304-TALK-304 is the text line. Listen up. Jackpots are growing, and that's an understatement this week. In West Virginia, jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Mega Millions jackpot is $90 million. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $1 billion. So go ahead, play today.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
304-TALK-304. That is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Saw this story this morning since we're talking about, law school and college, sort of tangentially. Did you see this, TJ? The University of Michigan will eliminate traditional letter grades for first semester freshmen beginning fall 27. So sorry, freshmen fall 26. You will be graded. The administration is saying the move is intended to help address what it describes as a growing... Oh, my gosh. I should kick my own hind end for even reading this. Administration says the move is intended to help address what is described as a growing mental health crisis among college students, the Wall Street Journal reported on Tuesday. Under the pilot program, students in the university's College of Literature, Science, and the Arts or receive pass or no credit on their transcripts during their first semester rather than conventional letter grades. The college enrolls about roughly 8,000 first-year students, the story says. While grades will not appear on student transcripts or be used in calculating their grade point average, professors will continue assigning grades internally. Those grades will be used to determine eligibility for scholarships and academic awards. So they're not really, but sort of, kind of. Give me a break.
You know, we have forgotten as parents how to teach our children to fail early on and how to deal with it. Instead of getting cut, everybody makes the team. Instead of having a champion in the league, everybody gets a trophy. Now, apparently, if you go to the University of Michigan as a freshman, we'll give you pass-fail. Instead of if you fail out and you get a grade. We are setting ourselves up for failure. You know who does this right? The Naval Academy. You go to the Naval Academy, and you have to be the best of the best to get into the Naval Academy. And the first thing they tell you is that failure is a far greater teacher than success. You may have never failed. You will fail here, and you will learn how to fail, and you will learn how to overcome it. What are we doing elsewhere? I guess we're going the other way. Yeah. Thanks for getting my blood pressure up. I was doing pretty good this morning.
Oh, by the way, the old maize and blue, is that what they call it? Maize?
I think maize.
No longer requires undergrads to submit SAT or ACT scores. Come on back for the second hour. It's Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Taking a peek back at the precipitation just yesterday, as we did see some record-breaking rain here for Charleston, just over 3 inches of rain. Impressive. Now we are going to be watching for some additional rainfall as we head into the coming days, meaning this rain is falling on clearly saturated ground. So we are going to be watching for some flooding concern. Quick peek at what we can expect. And now today we're under this general to marginal risk of severe weather. We're seeing those showers and rumbles of thunder move in right away this morning for some, and then continuing to watch for some additional activity as we head into the afternoon, evening, bringing some additional rainfall. Keeping a close eye on flooding concerns. Always remember, as you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. Now, we're not the only ones that are dealing with some unsettled weather. As we take a look at that Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. We are going to be watching for some unsettled weather. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, over to Orlando, going to be seeing that as we head through the next several days. So keep that in mind. Now for your Panhandle, the Panhandle forecast, watching for those showers and storms as we head into the day today. We're looking at Pine Grove hitting 80 degrees today. Otherwise, Davis at 74 degrees. Charlestown 86 degrees. Parkersburg 83 degrees as we head into the day today. Just continuing to keep an eye on those unsettled conditions, those flooding concerns out there. Lewisburg 79 degrees for this Wednesday. And then as we head into the extended outlook, we'll continue to watch for these showers and thunderstorms today, tomorrow, and again Friday. It does look like conditions are going to be slightly more settled though as we head into the weekend.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour, MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Say good morning once again to our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you being part of the program. Also, if you're watching in on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube, we appreciate it. Download the MetroNews TV app. Get access to all of the MetroNews TV programming, including the upcoming WVSSAC Kickoff Classic to get the high school football season rolling 2 weeks from Thursday. The MetroNews TV crew will be out at Clay Battelle versus Cameron out in Blacksville. You can watch the game on the MetroNews TV app, the WVSSAC Kickoff Classic, 2 weeks from Thursday. High school football season is quickly approaching. Back to school. Did Putnam County go back today? Cabell County, one of them did, didn't they?
I don't know
maybe?
about Cabell. Maybe Cabell. Putnam doesn't go back until a week from Monday.
I apologize to all the Putnam County parents that I just scared today. Cabell County. I think it was Cabell. One of them down there goes back really early to get the school year started. Oh, Mon County goes back next week. They coincide with WVU up here. But, yeah, it's back to school season. I should know that. We've been talking about back to school for a long time now. But, man, is this year going by quicker than last? I know we say that every year, but it feels like this one is blistering, man.
I mean, summer especially, maybe just all the running around and different activities, but it seems like summer was just a blur, and now it's gone, and we're all back to school. I know my wife started back this week. Faculty went back at Marshall. Then classes start next Monday. Or this coming Monday, I should say, at Marshall. So that's going on. And, hey, can I backsell for just a second, though? I wanted to bring something up.
No, go ahead.
I couldn't remember the numbers, so I didn't want to speak off the cuff, but I remember seeing an article in Forbes similar to what you were talking about earlier in the last segment when we were discussing grades at Michigan.
Yeah.
20% of Gen Z, this according to Forbes survey, 20% of Gen Z workers had a parent join an interview. 21% had parents contact employers. 10% had parents negotiate job offers. The article goes on to say experts warn such intervention can hinder young adults' self-regulation and increase anxiety. You think?
I saw a similar article, but it was Wall Street Journal, similar to that.
Okay.
Where HR executives were lamenting how many parents are calling them or sitting in on interviews with the kids. Not kids, these are 20-year-old adult, 20-some-year-old adults. Parents sitting in or parents following up on these interviews. Oh, mercy.
I mean, maybe I would take it. I've interviewed a number of people. Maybe I would take the interview just to be polite, but I've made my decision when that walks through the door.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Will you do me a favor, though?
Yeah.
Will you ask your wife if she will just switch her grading system to pass or fail for her classes? You know what? We're just doing pass or fail. No judgment.
Dude, I take most of her tests just for fun.
Do you pass them?
I've been out of school for I don't know how long. If I can pass them, anybody can pass them.
You know what? This seems like a good spot to bring Senator Amy Grady into the conversation. We'll give her the full introduction in a moment. But you're a classroom teacher. Pass or fail? How about that? Why don't we just go pass or fail this year, Mrs. Grady?
No, thank you, Dave. I have been listening to your conversation. It's been very interesting. And the start of the school year is around the corner for me as well. So, end of summer, I do agree. I think, TJ, you said that it feels like it's flown by. It absolutely has.
When do you go back? When does school start, Mason
I go
County?
back. I go back next Wednesday, and students come the following Monday. So I heard you talking about two counties starting soon. Cabell County and Jackson County students went back today.
Okay. Yeah.
And teachers went back last week, which to me is crazy that, it's the beginning of August still.
So, Senator, my mom was a teacher, and, you always got to get your room ready. And we used to go with her. We'd play or do whatever on the playground while she was, getting her room ready. Got your room ready?
Mm-hmm. Well, I always get my room ready at the end of the year. I've learned the beginning of my time as a teacher, I would stress over that, and I would go in days before I was supposed to be there and make my room, look so cutesy and pretty, and realized the kids didn't learn any better because I spent that time doing that. So, as a veteran teacher now, I know that I can get my room ready for learning in the amount of time that I'm given without going in too much and wasting more of my summer. So I think that's just one of those things you learn as you've been in the profession for a long time. Get everything ready ahead of time, and you don't have to worry about cutting your summer short.
All right, let me give you the full introduction here. Mason County State Senator Amy Grady, member of the Legislative Oversight Commission on Health and Human Resources Accountability. They were the committee yesterday during the interim committee meetings that was grilling the recently appointed Department of Human Services Secretary Carl Ayers, who was just put on the job on July 20th. Lots of questions about the school clothing voucher program. A little bit of grace for Carl Ayers. He's only been on the job a few weeks, but were the answers to the questions sufficient for you, Senator Grady?
No, and I do give him some grace because, God bless him, he came in on the day that this began, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really not a lot of time for him to really, truly understand what exactly is going on. He has a big role, and, we tried to give him some grace on that, but also we expected some answers when we held that meeting yesterday. And so a lot of what was said, we still left not really knowing exactly what the problem was. We funded what the governor asked for. The reason given for the vouchers not being rolled out on July 1 wasn't sufficient, and there was still no evidence on data to be used to provide, clear evidence on that comment that was made about parents spending it on beer and cigarettes. And so we're still left with nothing. We still don't know exactly what the problem was.
So beer and cigarettes, is that a scapegoat, or do you buy any of that?
I'll tell you, yesterday, the secretary mentioned he gave us a list of about 10 different vendors. I didn't keep the list down, but there were probably around 10. There were like smoke shops and liquor stores, a couple of gambling joints, those kind of places where people use like the ATM to get the $200 out. Now, so I can see where that assumption could be made. However, we also have to consider if those are 10 places, I'm going to assume that was only one transaction at each of those places. So that's 10 families out of the 50-some thousand, right? But that may also be the only location with an ATM that's really close to that family. And, so they're going there to get the $200 out to shop yard sales, to do Facebook Marketplace, to do go to Goodwill, those kind of places that do not take the card. So I don't think it's fair to assume that those were used in those locations because the ATM was there.
Mason County State Senator Amy Grady joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. I'm still not clear, Senator. The $200 gets applied to an EBT card, which then can be used at department stores, Walmart, places like that, or you can draw the cash out. But once it's applied to the card, I'm still not clear from the conversation yesterday whether or not we could actually track, did that $200 specifically get used for clothes, or did the $50 from this benefit get drawn out of the ATM? It seems like it just goes into one pot once it's on the card. Is that – I'm still confused.
Right, well, you are with me, Dave, because I'm still confused, too. It was said a couple of times that, it does go into that one pot. It's all loaded on the same EBT card. And then I think the secretary mentioned something about that $200 is somehow coded to where it comes off the card first, but could not really clarify how that worked, how families knew that worked, clarify to us how that worked. Didn't make any sense. And so, I'm still confused about that as well. Because if it's just loaded onto the same card that, if they have funds left over on that EBT card from the month before, how is that $200 any different? Now, I know they would probably just allow a withdrawal at the ATM of that $200 maximum. But if they used it at a retailer, how would you know? Because if you go to Walmart or Target, either one, they sell groceries as well as they do clothes. So how do you know what was spent on clothes versus, so it's just, it's very confusing still, and I'm disappointed in the substance that we were not provided when that was the reason for the meeting.
I will bet you a chocolate milkshake of your choice that there's not a family that gets commingled benefits, so meaning SNAP, TANF, all on the same card, has any clue that the school voucher money is front-loaded, then first in, first out, or last in, first out, I should say, if it's front-loaded, has zero clue that is even happening and has zero clue how to reconcile it. So I thought it was disingenuous, frankly, yesterday when we started talking about money being spent at Kroger, at Sheetz, at places, especially if you have commingled benefits. Of course you're spending money there. You're buying food.
Right. And, that $200 is very little. But it is supposed to help families. It's not supposed to supply all. It is to assist in the need. But $200, if a family is truly in need, and people that are applying for this really are, they are going to try to get as much as they can out of that $200. And a lot of times that's not buying retail. A lot of times that is pulling out the cash and buying from yard sales and going to Goodwill, and going to Gabe's and places like that you can get something for cheaper so you can provide your child with more. And I don't think it's fair to say about these families that they're using it to buy beer and cigarettes, because I think, it's just, fair is the word. It's just not fair to say that, because these people, are trying, and it's not fair to the kids, because, the kids are who's hurting, and they need clothes to go back to school, regardless of how their parents live their lives. It's not their fault, right? And so we want to make sure that they have what they need. And I'm just really disappointed that we don't have an answer to why this program was stopped, and also why it wasn't started on time.
State Senator Amy Grady joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. Let's assume, for just a moment, there is a major structural deficit with TANF, that the program's spending more than the block grant's bringing in. Let's assume the program's riddled with waste, fraud, and abuse. Is now the time to start to address those issues?
I think actually those issues need to be addressed before the legislature is approached for how much money we need to give to fund TANF. Right, so we just award whatever the governor's office asks for, and says, last year was $177 million. That's what was needed. We don't know how that is split up. We don't know how that money is spent. We give the money to the governor's office, and the executive branch is the ones who are in charge of that. And so prior to this year's budget coming out, I would hope all of that would be done, before that budget is presented to us. Right now, is in my opinion, not the time. That's something that is some homework you need to do prior to. And hopefully, that everybody's learned their lesson on this, and that's what happens in the future.
Amy, I want to tie some things together. If you'll give me a little bit of rope, you can tell me whether or not this is plausible. I listened intently yesterday, and there was dialogue from Evan Worrell, who is the co-chair of the committee, along with Secretary Ayers. And Evan was making the assertion that they have approved, to your point, a spending limit that encompassed everything that the governor asked for. They did that, they being the legislature. And the assertion was it's on the governor. Ayers pushed back on that a little bit. And one of the ways he pushed back on it was to bring into this discussion child care reimbursement costs. I took that to mean he was talking about HB 4191 and specifically the fact that the state is now paying for child care on an enrollment basis and not an attendance basis. Of course, there's been reporting about the fact that program has been delayed in execution for one reason or another when it comes to DOHS. Here's my question. Is it plausible that the administration is unhappy with 4191, doesn't want it, and the school voucher program is a bargaining chip in a negotiation to see that reversed?
You know, TJ, I'd hate to assume how someone else is thinking. You know, that gets us in a lot of trouble. But, you know, that bill was passed, and I have received a lot of emails from child care providers that are saying that, you know, we passed that bill. They were looking forward to it because it was definitely needed for them, and they are not seeing anything from it, even though the law was passed, signed into law, and, you know, they're supposed to be. So using that when, you know, I know we're looking ahead, I don't know that that's fair either. But again, I don't want to, that part of the conversation was very brief and, you know, just speculating what he meant by that. I don't really want to do that because I'd like to get a little more information on exactly what he meant there. But, again, I don't know if I'm going to get that. I don't know if any of us are going to get that because it seems like information that we want, we get just little bits and pieces and we truly still come away with not knowing the answer. So, you know, but I do know child care providers are saying that, you know, they're not seeing the benefit of that yet, and they were looking so forward to it, and that's not fair to them either.
State Senator Amy Grady joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. Were you surprised to learn that the program was shut down, yet DOHS can't give you a firm number on how many applications came in or were even processed?
I was, you know, and I know and this was prior to the meeting, but we had heard that the applications were submitted, you know, in a short time period. There were so many submitted that they couldn't process all of them. They are still processing them at this moment. The reason they can't tell us how many applications were submitted exactly doesn't make sense. And then for the reason that they're not being processed quickly, you know, they're blaming the PATH system. They're blaming all, you know, that so many came in at one time. Well, that was a problem created on your own, you know, by opening it up late where people are really going to flood the system because they really need that money to go back to school shopping with school starting this week and next week. So, you know, I was surprised with the lack of data that we were given. I was surprised with, you know, the number of questions that were asked and the answers that just weren't anything, that didn't really answer the question, you know, and I don't want to say anything. I know the secretary's been there for 3 weeks, but this is his job. And this is a hot topic, and I know he was thrown in there. But, you know, he did say he would come back to us with a lot more detailed information, and I look forward to that. When that will happen, hopefully by September. But, again, we're already into the school year then.
The PATH system can't come before your committee or any committee and testify, obviously.
No.
I haven't used it, so I need some grace from those who have. But given your experience in this narrative, I mean, is PATH really that bad? Because it would seem to me if it's really that bad, nobody would be buying it. Not only would the state of West Virginia not buy it, nobody else would buy it. They'd be out of business. I struggle to understand if it's really that bad and how much of the problem can really be honestly attributed to it.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, honestly, TJ. We hear from all different departments that it's bad, that it's slow, that it doesn't process the way it should, that the communication is bad, but you also have human error, you know, as well. And I don't know how much of that is contributed to the human part or the system part. And that's something that we really, really have to kind of deep dive into and see if this is truly a problem. But from what I'm hearing and understanding, probably in the last 3 years, it has been mentioned, you know, repeatedly from different departments. So I think there's probably some merit to that. I don't know exactly, you know, what that is. But, you know, if it's an issue, we definitely need to fix it.
State Senator from Mason County, Amy Grady, she's ready. How many first days of school does this make for you this year?
This is 20.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you get
Yeah,
do you
so
get cake or something for that?
Well, I think I should. I have reached that point where, I am now like the veteran, the oldest teacher in my building, and it's really hard not in my building. Well, yeah, probably in the top. Yeah, I am. I'm pretty much the oldest classroom teacher in my building, and it's hard for me. It's really hard for me to look around and say I'm the old one. So it doesn't feel like it was that long ago that I was the beginning teacher. So it's definitely a different perspective. I still love it just as much as I did in the beginning. I love teaching. I love the beginning of the school year. It's just that life gets busier, and there's fewer amounts of minutes in the day for us to be able to get things done when we get home. So.
Amy Grady, State Senator. Amy, we appreciate it this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good day.
You as well. We'll get some of your thoughts at 304-TALK-304. We're back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. Your tax dollars helped expand broadband access across West Virginia, and CityNet makes it real. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
Producer Ethan sent a note during the break, and I read, quote, "As someone who almost failed many classes, pass or fail grading scale is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of." He makes it too easy. I'm not even going to take the bait. I'm not going to do it. It's too easy. Love you, Ethan. Love you. Did you see who's going to be on Metro News Midday coming up a little bit later on this afternoon?
I heard Bobby Ewing.
Yeah, Patrick Duffy. Now,
I'm
depending
jealous.
on how old you are, it's either Bobby Ewing or my generation probably knows him a little bit better. I was going to say Frank Gifford. What was he on Step by Step? Frank something.
Frank something. Or the man from
Lanford?
Atlantis.
Oh, yeah. How about Patrick Duffy? How about that? That's a pretty good score.
I'm jealous. I was a big Dallas fan. I like that. The original.
Do you think we can go Dave Allen into asking him the question?
Which is?
Who shot JR? We'll try. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Taking a peek back at the precipitation just yesterday, as we did see some record-breaking rain here for Charleston, just over 3 inches of rain. Impressive. Now we are going to be watching for some additional rainfall as we head into the coming days, meaning this rain is falling on clearly saturated ground. So we are going to be watching for some flooding concern. Quick peek at what we can expect. And now today we're under this general to marginal risk of severe weather. We're seeing those showers and rumbles of thunder move in right away this morning for some, and then continuing to watch for some additional activity as we head into the afternoon, evening, bringing some additional rainfall. Keeping a close eye on flooding concerns. Always remember, as you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. Now, we're not the only ones that are dealing with some unsettled weather. As we take a look at that Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. We are going to be watching for some unsettled weather. Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, over to Orlando, going to be seeing that as we head through the next several days. So keep that in mind. Now for your the Panhandle forecast, watching for those showers and storms as we head into the day today. We're looking at Pine Grove hitting 80 degrees today. Otherwise, Davis at 74 degrees. Charlestown 86 degrees. Parkersburg 83 degrees as we head into the day today. Just continuing to keep an eye on those unsettled conditions, those flooding concerns out there. Lewisburg 79 degrees for this Wednesday. And then as we head into the extended outlook, we'll continue to watch for these showers and thunderstorms today, tomorrow, and again Friday. It does look like conditions are going to be slightly more settled though as we head into the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense at that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
304 Talk 304. That is the text line, 800-765-8255. We'll get to your comments coming up in the next segment. Last week, the Kanawha County Commission discussed the proposed Valley North, the 260-mile transmission line, with residents during a meeting on Thursday. Valley Link is a collaboration among AEP subsidiary TransSource Energy, First Energy Transmission, and Virginia-based Dominion Energy. There have been a number of open houses throughout communities that would be affected by the line. The proposal is for a 265 kilovolt line to begin at the John Amos Power Plant in Putnam County and then travel to Frederick County, Maryland. This line, much like the Mid-Atlantic Resiliency Link, MARL, has received considerable pushback from folks in the public. To discuss further about what we know and do not know about the Valley Link so far is Valley Link spokesperson and First Energy's Lauren Siburkis, who joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Lauren, good morning. Thanks for taking some time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So I gave the Cliff Notes version of the Valley Link, but expand a little bit about what this project is and its goal.
Sure. So before I get into that, I think it's important that we level set on how we got here. So it's important for folks to know that our existing grid was built decades ago for a level of electricity demand that we surpassed years ago. So we rely on electricity more than ever today, and this demand is only expected to grow over the future. So just as we invest in expanding and modernizing our roads and our highways as we support growing populations and increase traffic, we have to do the same for our power grid to meet the needs of our community and for the economy for generations to come. So year and a half ago, 2 years ago, PJM identified this region, West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia, as a region that was facing real serious critical vulnerabilities for its grid because of the lack of capacity to serve all of the energy demands in the area. And so they put out bid. They encouraged transmission owners and electric companies to submit proposals for solutions to meet that critical vulnerability on the grid. And Valley North project, Valley Link, was selected as a solution to meet the grid vulnerabilities and address the reliability concerns that we are faced with in the region.
Lauren, good morning. TJ here. Thanks for being with us. Some who are opposed to this line and other transmission, for that matter, would say this line runs through West Virginia. Yes, it connects at John Amos, but it doesn't really serve any need here. Residents will not benefit directly from it. What would you say to that criticism?
I'm really happy that you asked that, TJ, because that is a huge misconception that it's being solely built to serve data centers in Maryland and Virginia. Data center growth is certainly contributing to the rising electricity demand, but it's only one part of a broader trend. So look at the population growth that we've experienced in recent years. Look at all the electrification. Again, we're using electricity more than ever. Look at all the advanced manufacturing and technology that we're facing across the nation and this region. And then the retiring generation sources as well. All of those things combined are putting a strain on our existing grid, and we need to, update it and expand our infrastructure to support the needs for the future.
We're talking to Lauren Siburkis. She's with First Energy Valley Link spokesperson. Is the route for this Valley Link project, has it been determined or is it still in development?
Yeah, so we do not have a route selected yet. So our first round of open houses, we went to 23 different communities along the proposed study area where we could have potential routes. And we gathered a lot of comments and feedback. We had a lot of participation, more than 6,500 folks that attended these public open houses, and they provided more than 4,000 comments and questions that we're taking back to the drawing board. We're working to refine potential route options that we'll share with the public in November once we host our second round of open houses.
How critical is that feedback, and is it used in terms of when you go back and you speak with engineers who are going to plot these courses? Do you use and take that feedback, and if there's an area that folks want you to avoid, do you attempt to avoid that area?
Absolutely. Their feedback is critically important for this project. We use a lot of publicly available data, as well as, data that each of the utilities has on their service areas. But a lot of that information is, not accurate or it's outdated. And so we really rely on the feedback of the communities to tell us if there are, culturally or environmentally protected areas on their property, or if there are conservation easements. All of those things are taken into consideration, again, when we go back to the drawing board and really refine our potential route options for this project.
Talking to Lauren Siburkis, a First Energy Valley Link spokesperson. I mentioned the Marl project because it's got a lot of attention. Is this project connected to that line in any way?
This is a completely separate endeavor, and it's a separate project. They're both, addressing transmission and needs in this region, but they are two totally separate projects and entities.
The big question that I hear a lot from folks, Lauren, is, okay, who pays? Will it be solely on the backs of West Virginians, many of whom, despite what you have said, feel like they're not getting benefit from it? Will it be solely on their backs? Will others help pay? Who pays for this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are part of the PJM grid. And so that's an interconnected grid that operates across 13 states, including West Virginia. And so the costs of this project will be shared among all of the customers within the PJM network that will benefit from this project over the lifespan of the assets. So this is infrastructure that is supposed to last for about 50 to 60 years. So all of the millions of customers who will benefit from this project will, pay for the cost of the project over about 60 years. And so we're really looking at minor impacts to monthly utility bills for customers here in West Virginia.
This might be looking just a little bit down the road, but as the route is developed, the property owners who would be impacted directly, indirectly, how will you reach out to them, and how will that process be handled?
Sure. So we are committed to having fair and transparent conversations with landowners. We understand that a project of this size can raise a lot of questions, and people can feel, really have a lot of feelings about their property. And so we're committed to working with them and paying them fairly for their land. They would maintain ownership of the land. We would just, purchase the land that we need to build the infrastructure where it will be placed, but they would maintain ownership of their land.
So I get the connection. I get the feelings. I get why folks would have concerns. Frankly, I understand why people may be upset that this is going to occur. But I want to understand from your perspective, when you go beyond individual, I should say, thoughts and feelings, and you as the industry look at the macro level, what's the risk here to all of us if more transmission is not built? Not just this line or Marl or any other line. What's the risk that we face in this country if we do not expand our transmission system, if any at all?
Yeah, so I think, that's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked it. So, look, our summers are getting hotter, our winters are getting colder, and those things combined with all of the other, energy needs that are driving up demand, such as, electrification and all those things, population growth, that's putting a strain on our system. And so we really need this type of project because we can't go and build a generation plant or a power plant on every corner. We need to be able to move electricity to where it's needed. And this project, without a project like this, not to scare folks, but it is the truth. PJM has said that we're really facing a risk of blackouts and outages across our region if we don't have additional capacity to get electricity to where it's needed. And so this is critical to, future reliability in West Virginia.
Lauren, where can folks get more information, keep up to date as this project continues to develop?
Yeah, so please continue to visit vltransmission.com /valley-north for more information. If you have a minute, I would love to share. I know earlier we talked a little bit about some of what those local benefits are, but I'd like to,
Sure.
get a little more into detail. So, a lot of times at these open houses, we did hear a lot from folks wanting to know what the local benefits are. And, I know we focus a lot on what the grid reliability upgrades mean for local communities, but I don't think folks realize the the breadth of benefits that it does bring beyond just advanced infrastructure. So we worked with the state to obtain some preliminary estimates on what the generated property tax revenue at full build out for this project. So when the project's completed, what our property value revenue might look like in the state of West Virginia. And we're looking at an estimated nearly $14 million in annual property tax revenue in West Virginia alone, with nearly $9 million of that going to local schools in West Virginia. So I want to emphasize that this is a recurring source of funding that's going to provide a long-term investment in educational opportunities and stronger communities across the region, because it will also be used to, help provide county funding for public works, road upgrades, and other things like that.
Lauren Siburkis, First Energy Valid Link spokesperson. Thank you so much for the information this morning. We appreciate the time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We'll get to your text and phone calls. Welcome as well. 800-765-TALK. You can text us 304-TALK-304. Those are the two ways to participate in the show today. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now's the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust, perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, or even running a business. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net connects, protects, and perfects. Your text messages coming up next. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Struggling with weight can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. At the WVU Medicine Medical and Surgical Weight Loss Center, we offer proven surgical options and compassionate support to help you achieve lasting weight loss and better health. We guide you every step of the way, from personalized planning to long-term success. Reserve your spot at a free, no-obligation information session. Call 304-293-1728 or visit wvumedicine.org/bariatrics.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304. That's the text line. You know that already. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. Hey, TJ, I ask you a question.
Yeah, buddy.
You think if they build the Valley Link, John Amos power plant would have to run at 69%?
Let me tell you something. I think that the John Amos power plant, a plant I have spent much time at, by the way, love the people there, love that plant, salt of the earth people, best you'll ever meet. Given the expansion of load in this country and how much we need juice, I think this whole 69% thing becomes moot because any plant that can create a megawatt is going to be turned on and running as much as it possibly can. That is the reality that we face. Now, more transmission means less congestion, which means John Amos would be able to send more of its power into load centers where sometimes it can't because of congestion costs. So, yes.
I've been waiting the whole show.
How's that for a diplomatic answer?
Sounds like a polished politician to me.
Yeah,
800-765-TALK. Oh, by the way, producer Ethan wanted to specify he never actually failed a class. He only almost failed classes. Okay.
Is a D really passing? I mean,
What's it? C's and D's get degrees. Isn't that what they
hey, buddy.
That's what they used to say.
That's exactly right. Hey, let me tell you something. What? The A students, they work for the C students. And if you haven't figured that out by now, I mean, seriously, look at all the research. Look at all the research. Most entrepreneurs in this country, most people of extreme wealth, you know what they made in college? They weren't rocket scientists. They were like 3.0 or 2.5 or 3.2 or something. They weren't the rocket scientists. I mean, that's a fact. There's all kinds of research on that.
A couple of texts here. 304 Talk 304. If the Valley North power line is for data centers in Northern Virginia, let the ratepayers in Virginia, pay for it. But the builders think us dumb old West Virginians will pay for it, says the texter.
She didn't go here. Let me just say, they will. There's a couple of factors when it comes to transmission cost allocation. Everybody in PJM pays something, a ratio, according to their load in their state. And then there is a formula that figures out where this load is most used and most going. It's called the DFAX, D-F-A-X, and it contributes a larger percentage of the cost to them. So that is happening. Folks don't realize that does happen already.
You all are on point today. Liam's dad is so angry because he couldn't get his Milwaukee's best with his voucher money.
So there's a Liam kid that we know just in passing. I can't look at the kid anymore.
Poor Liam.
Look at it.
Guys, even Amy could not tell you how the funds are being used, so here is an idea. Don't matter what party you belong to, why doesn't everyone work together to come up with a better system so we know where the money is spent? Good luck doing that. There's part of this. We brought this up in this conversation with the EBT cards, with the school clothing voucher program. There's federal requirements. What is it? Twice a month, or you have to make those EBT cards available for cash withdrawals. You have to, according to the federal government, or you don't get the money. So, paper vouchers, is that what you want to do? Retailers hated it.
Yeah,
it limits where you can use them. Look, Eric Tarr brought this up, TJ. Every system, there are going to be those who will take advantage of it, who will find a way to abuse it. You try to limit that as much as possible. You try to improve the system as much as you possibly can. You're just never going to eliminate all of that. And quite frankly, we don't have data that supports the claims, in this case at least, anyway.
No. Gino Chiarelli, friend of the program, been on many times. He had a brilliant idea yesterday. His idea was, instead of loading the school voucher money onto the existing EBT card, have a second card. And that way you could have distinct data from the program. It would be delineated and separate from the other funds. I'm on board with that, but I'll go back to what we talked about last week. If it costs a couple $1,000,000 to do that, and I don't know what it would cost, but if that cost to do that is more than the projected fraud, then you, John Q. taxpayer, are paying more than you otherwise would. Is it worth it to you?
It's a good question. It's quite sad to hear how government is so irresponsible and dumbfounded when it comes to handing out just a little bit of money for school supplies. I listen to this and shake my head because I know there are people out there that want the government to run our health care as well. Send a Visa gift card for $200, separate of EBT. Beyond that, it's a morality issue.
There you go.
304 Talk, 304. Trying to sort through some of these. I'll read this one. This is a positive. Hey, guys. My nephew graduated from the Naval Academy. Pretty much our entire family serves. My dad was a career Navy guy. My son is a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard in D.C. My nephew is a Navy SEAL. And on and on and on, says the texter. Well, congratulations and thank you very much. Much appreciated from all of us.
Much appreciated.
All right, final break. We'll tell you what's coming up tomorrow, if we know. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
In West Virginia, community is everything. It's about showing up for each other. Vin Salango and the team at Salango Law don't just work here, they live here, proudly sponsoring local events and giving back to the neighborhoods they love. So when you're facing a serious injury, trust the local team that's always in your corner. They spent over 25 years fighting for West Virginia families. Salango Law. Get results, not excuses. Visit us at salangolaw.com.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Mega Millions jackpot's $90 million. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $1 billion. So go ahead, play today. Couple more texts here before we go. Think of all the funds saved and could be used for other problems if we did away with welfare. Get rid of the canes used for disability. Please have your guests speak directly into the phone when they use the speakerphone or they become almost unintelligible. Thank you. As a landowner, in regards to the transmission line controversy, utilities should agree to pay the taxes on the land that they are using. As a landowner, I still have to pay those taxes, says the governor. Says the texter. You say the governor has evidence of fraud, but we have no receipts saying it isn't fraud, says the texter. Hard to prove a negative. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Follow the news of the day over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Join us tomorrow morning, once again, 10:06, for Ethan, who almost failed classes but never did. Jake and TJ, I'm Dave. We'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.